on the news. 5 people are injured in London with a guy with a sword. Plus, a 14-year-old boy that's died when he was listening to music with his headphones on. He didn't deserve that. All them innocent people, and 2 officers were injured and put in hospital. Let's be looking at the London sword attack. Disgusting, I know. And RIP to the boy that's died. Rest in peace. What is this world coming to? Really? Seems to be getting worse and not any better in the world, innit? That's what I think about the world. I don't know if you guys and girls and ladies and gentlemen would agree. You may have your own point of the world, but anyway. Let's play the video.
The first sign that anything had happened in this close-knit community in Hainault in north-east London was at 10 to 7 yesterday morning, when neighbours reported hearing desperate and blood-curdling screams from Lang close behind me.
Disgusting acts some people do in this world.
A man driving a van had come round the corner at heavy speed, crashed into a pedestrian before crashing into a house. Neighbours said that they went to go and check on the man who had crashed, but he got out carrying a 2-foot ornamental sword, which he then used to attack a schoolboy, 14 years old, leaving his home to head for his day at school. Neighbours described seeing the young boy sitting in a 6-foot pool of blood as he lay on the floor, while officers and police who arrived just 12 minutes after they were first called at 6:54 a.m. desperately tried to revive him. Sadly, there was nothing they could do.
Hold on a minute.
When I left the house, I locked up, and as soon as I turned over, he approached me, and he was asking if he was basically saying, "Where are we? What's the address?" Once I told the address, he sort of moved closer towards me. He put his foot on my foot, so I couldn't back off. And then that's when he drew out the sword, and it was arm's length.
No, it's just that crazy guy with a sword that's killed, attacked 5 people in London and killed a 14-year-old boy, plus injured 2 officers. They've been put in hospital to police.
Coming out of his house to go to school. So
disgusting it is.
My instinct was to just shout and wave at him.
The 14-year-old boy died basically listening to music with his headphones on.
I don't think he heard either of us.
And they were trying to shout. This woman tried to shout him about the sword guy, but
it was sort of a moment where
too
it
late.
just went from shouting to just blankness. It just felt empty because someone's life just got taken right in front of us. So.
The man, who was 36, then fled with the sword still in hand down towards a garden area with some garages where he climbed atop them, still with a rabble of police officers in pursuit. It was at that point officers shouted at residents on the nearby Thurlow Gardens to lock their doors to make sure the man, who had earlier issued crazed shouts of "Do you believe in God?" could not get through their back doors.
Drop the sword! Oi! Just going in people's gardens, man. Lock your doors! Everyone lock your doors!
The man charged along the garden area, and it's understood from talking to neighbours and locals on Thurlow Gardens he may have tried to climb over somebody's gate to get onto their garage, where he was then met with a wall of police officers who shot him with 2 50,000-volt tasers in footage captured by a doorbell camera. Police first addressed the incident at around 11 a.m. yesterday, where they said that many people, 5 people in fact, including 2 police officers, have been injured in the rampage. This morning we learnt that some of the injuries to those cops are very serious indeed. One of them, Mark Rowley, said almost had her hand cut off, and he said it was a testament to how police run towards danger.
Absolutely disgusting behaviour. You would have thought you could go outside and be safe.
We were on the ground in 12 minutes. and he was detained after 22 minutes. Obviously, some of the first contacts led to officers being very severely injured.
What can you tell us about the extent of the injuries, Samar?
I mean, we talk, don't we? People say sort of officers run towards danger. What you've actually seen on some of the videos that are out sort of around social media and on news sites such as your own, you actually see what that really looks like. You've got officers running towards someone who's waving a sword. I went to hospital yesterday and to see the officers and their families. I saw the inspector whose hand's badly damaged. I saw him before the operation. He was in good spirits. I think that was partly the morphine, to be honest.
Right. Okay.
But he's got sort of a lot of patching up to be done on his hand. Really serious injuries there. And I was talking to the family and colleagues of the officer, the woman officer who's really badly damaged arm, really seriously damaged, and the surgeon spent sort of many hours sort of basically putting her arm back together. It's going to be a long journey of recovery.
One newspaper said of the female officer, it was close to her actually losing her hand. Are you able to confirm that?
That's not a million miles away. I mean, it's really horrifically serious injuries.
It's understood another one of the injured is at least one of the residents on Lang Close who attempted to assist
Whole world's lost.
believing that what they had witnessed was a straightforward motor vehicle accident. After he was arrested, locals on Thurlow Road said the police wrapped the man in a black protective sheet in order to restrain him. However, he continued resisting until he was eventually bundled into the back of a police van by as many as 6 or 7 police officers who all surged towards the threat. The man this morning is still being kept under guard at a local hospital. His injuries are still too severe.
In my opinion, the police should have just shot him in the head with a gun
but not yet
and killed him for doing that. But
behind me in Lang Close,
they don't deserve to live, in my opinion.
Including forensics teams and sniffer dogs.
I don't know you guys and girls and ladies and gentlemen think.
For any evidence there may be. In the immediate aftermath of the incident,
Probably would agree or probably not.
There was a range of medical equipment and
Disgusting.
a chair that could be seen in the street, where some of the injured were treated on the scene by paramedics. The suspect's van, which was left here until around 11:30 last night, has now been removed. Footage posted on social media showed it being towed away. It's unclear where that van is being taken. However, you would think it would make quite a considerable part of the evidence in this case as police investigate exactly what has gone on.
Oh, that is absolutely disgusting. Disgusting.
Loss of life, particularly with a child, is always awful. But the police acted swiftly, responded quickly, and the officers displayed huge bravery in confronting an armed person on the streets of London. I've had an update from the Commissioner of the Met Police on those officers who were injured, and I have so much admiration for their decisiveness and their courage in light of what has happened.
How is it that someone can roam the streets of London with a blade of that size? Kemi Badenoch this morning said that you're looking at further restrictions on sale of swords. Is that?
Well, we've already put a whole range of legislation in place. There's more coming through in the criminal justice bill with regard to weapons, particularly zombie knives. Of course, it is already illegal to carry a bladed weapon like that on the streets. But as I say, the response from the police was incredibly swift. But the tragedy is heartbreaking.
Sadiq Khan, Mayor of London, said critics saying that the machete crime was out of control in London, had been watching too much Wire.
Look, I've publicly been critical of what I believe to be a failure of the mayor to take violent crime in London.
Do you know why there's a shortage of police officers?
Like that betray and
Theresa May did it when she was in power. She made the police officers short. That's why there's a short of police officers. That's what it is.
He was a true scholar who had a positive nature and gentle character. Those are the words from the school of the 14-year-old boy who was killed in a sword attack in Hainault in north-east London yesterday. Today he's been named as Daniel Anjurin. The schools say the loss of Daniel has left them in profound shock and sorrow. Julian Drucker reports on what is a deeply upsetting story.
The teenager killed on his way to school. 14-year-old Daniel Anjurin, seen here in the uniform he was wearing when he died. He never made it to the gates of Bancroft School in northeast London. Today its flag was at the half-mast, and it emerged that tragedy also struck a former pupil just last summer. Grace O'Malley Kumar, killed in the Nottingham attacks, attended the school until 2 years ago. As a heavy police presence remained at the scene of yesterday's violence, so many have wanted to remember Daniel.
It's just a huge shock. Like, that could have been me, that could have been my brother. A lot of people that I know that I'm friends with are also friends with his family, his brothers, so it's just a shock. Just, I don't know, to be honest, just the world's just mad. Yeah.
True.
The suspect leaps over a fence as this doorbell camera footage shows the chilling closing moments of his arrest. He is wielding a sword as the officer in the distance is holding a taser, which he then uses. Seven officers then surround him as the two with tasers continue to point them at him. Today, the Met Commissioner paid tribute to their brave actions.
I went to hospital yesterday and to see the officers and their families. I saw the inspector whose hand's badly damaged. I saw him before the operation. He was in good spirits. I think that was partly the morphine, to be honest.
Right. Okay.
But he's got sort of a lot of patching up to be done on his hand. Really serious injuries there. And I was talking to the family and colleagues of the officer, the woman officer who's really badly damaged arm, really seriously damaged, and the surgeon spent sort of many hours sort of basically putting her arm back together.
Earlier, the Prime Minister reflected on the incident and the impact on the victim's family.
It's absolutely heartbreaking that a teenage boy has died, and I can't imagine what his family are going through, and we send them our heartfelt condolences and offer our very best wishes to all those injured.
With the streets where the attack took place still cordoned off, details are emerging about the life that ended on them. Said to be a keen footballer, the teenager's mother is a member of staff at a nearby school, and this evening his teachers have recalled Daniel as a much-loved pupil.
Well, let's pick up with Julian live tonight. Julian, good to speak to you. There have been further statements from the school today as well.
Hi, Daniel. And I should say, obviously, 14 is really young, but he does look especially young in that photo, doesn't he? And we're told that it is a fairly recent picture that was released by police. But yes, his school banker officer have released a statement in the last few minutes. They've said, "We are devastated by the heartbreaking news of the death of Daniel Angerin, who attended our school. This has left us in profound shock and sorrow. His positive nature," they go on, "general character will leave a lasting impact on us. Losing such a young people is something we will always struggle to come to terms with." Sir Mark Rowley also talking about officers coming to terms with what they saw yesterday.
Feel free to send a like on the video, or
police operation at the moment.
you know, always helps the videos and stuff. If you're new here, thanks for joining the stream.
They couldn't start questioning him. We now
No sickening news in the world that people don't want to hear, but
is in custody. Also, the tasering you just saw in that footage, it's emerged this afternoon that we now know 10 minutes before that, local officers used incapacitant spray and a taser on the suspects. This was earlier than what we saw in that video. That didn't work, though, we're told. So there were 2 rounds of tasering yesterday. It gives a real sense of the relentless horror that emerged on these streets yesterday morning.
wow. Absolutely disgusting.
In Sheffield, where
Could the world get any more worse? Hopefully it doesn't get worse, but yeah. I don't know what else is on the TV. I can have a look and see. It's heartbreaking for a lot of people that have to go through that, especially friends and family. Trying to figure out what else is on the TV. I don't know. Anyway, thank you for joining me, and see you in the next video. Peace. Take it easy.